What's up, YouTube? How y'all doing today? Hope y'all having a good day today. So, this will be my second video I'm making today, so I'm kind of on fire today. So, for the topic of this video, I want to talk about decisions and consequences. Now, this video is for other guys like me, mainly, but not just. Now, I am in no shape or form trying to discourage guys from being open and honest about who they are for their attractions to transgender women. Not trying to discourage that at all. I am just trying to encourage, not discourage, but encourage critical thinking on your situation in life and the situation at hand. All right? Now, this might not be viewed so positively, but again, I'm not trying to discourage guys. I still encourage men to be open and honest about themselves, about who they are, who they're attracted to, who they're dating. You know, whether you're trans or gay or bi or whatever your situation may be. But this particularly for transamorous, trans-attracted men. Now, decisions and consequences. I'm going to show y'all something. I would show you the inside of my father's house. But don't really have access to that right now. They're in there watching news, political debates right now, so don't really want to get involved with all that. But yeah, in Huntsville, I'm at my father's house visiting family, and yes, my dad knows about my attraction to transgender women, that I'm transamorous. He used to not be cool with it, but now he's in a much better place with it. We get along now. Wasn't always that way, but we've made strides and improvements in this arena. Still got some improvement to go, but it's a work in progress. Totally, he's fine. He's not great, but he's fine with my lifestyle now. All right, so I just want to get that out of the way. And anyways, but in the beginning, when I was open and honest about this, he was worried about my health. He was plagued by a lot of these misconceptions about the community, and also too, he was worried about my career. He thought that when I first created that video, I love trans women, I originally posted that on Facebook, and it was floating around on Facebook for about a year. Then it was posted to YouTube. But again, that video is a couple of years old actually. So he thought I destroyed my career. That was it. Not true. He was partially right on that. It did hurt my career. I've lost out on employment opportunities, and I'm sure there's a few other employment opportunities I've missed out on due to that video, on who's seen it, what hands it got into, so on and so forth. I can't prove any of this because you have to have like written, handwriting, or email, but I have trusted sources that tell me that higher ups within a particular organization or company seen that and did not approve of it. So, but it is what it is. I have work. I'm fine for right now, but I would be financially, I would be better off had I been quiet, closeted, and DL. That's the truth. May not be popular, but that's the truth. That's my truth. I'm speaking from my experience. I'm going to show you something. And this is just my father's garage, the inside of the house. His house, his home's beautiful. And I would show you the inside, but I can't at the moment. And yeah, I don't want all that background noise in my video. So I'm just going to show you the garage. And show you the garage should just be enough. All right? All right. And there's a point to this. I'll tell you here in a minute. Man cave. Now, why did I show you all this? Well, me and my father, we're in the same career field. Now, my dad has been in this career field much longer than me. Obviously, because he's my father. He's got 20 plus more years experience than I do. And he has more certifications and more education than I do, simply because he's been in his career field longer than me. He's a certified welding inspector, just like me. And At one point in time, he held certifications in non-destructive examination, ultrasonic thickness, magnetic particle, visual, and liquid penetrant, but he didn't really use them as much as I have. Could be wrong on that, but I don't think so. But what he does have that I don't have is API certifications. API 510, 577, 653, 570, 580. And he's currently fixing to get his CRI, Certified Radiographic Interpreter. And I know you have no idea what any of these certifications are or what they mean, and that's perfectly fine. But the point is, he's got more education, more certifications than me. Even though I have a college degree and he does not, but in this industry, certifications are king, right? So, but back to the point at hand. See, in this industry as an inspector, there is a certain image in which needs to be upheld. And that image is an image of strength and not of weakness, and an image of certainty that you know what you're talking about, you know what we're doing as an inspector. That's the image in which you have to uphold, especially when you're an inspector like my father, the upper echelon, so to speak. Now, me as an inspector, because I'm still pretty new to this career field, I'm mid-level. I'm CWI with some NDE certifications and a college degree. So that's one thing that really sets me above most other inspectors, is because I have a college degree. And it's kind of rare in this industry to have a college degree in inspection. But I digress. Now, with this image, in the construction industry, I've said it before, only the hardiest of men, the most masculine men, work in this industry. Now, I'm not gay. There would be nothing wrong if I was gay, but I'm not. I don't date guys. I'm not into guys. Not into... I wouldn't date me. Okay? All right? That's for sure. I wouldn't date somebody with my similar features, okay? You all know this. You all know who I date. But construction, generally, most people in construction don't see it that way. They see me as gay. They see me as weaker, less of a man because I date transgender women. They see me all across the board less than. Effeminate, even though most of these guys who would say that I'm effeminate, I'm more masculine than they are. I'm bigger than they are. I'm stronger than they are. I know more on certain things than they do. You know, I work on my own vehicles. All this other shit that quote unquote makes you masculine, I have more of. But because of that one thing, that I date transgender women, I'm less than in most people's eyes in the construction industry. Now, my father is not the wisest with money. He's getting a lot better in recent years. So he has a really nice house and all of these things that I have because he's worked really hard for these things. No doubt. He started from the bottom, worked his way up. All right? Now, had I not been open and honest about my attractions to transgender women, I would actually be more financially stable. Because I had three jobs sitting on the table right around the time of that video. Or not long after that video, but then that video kind of hit a little bit more mainstream on Facebook, I'm guessing. And and it was on my Facebook page too. I deleted my Facebook once. I don't know if it's there now, but I'm pretty certain that these companies are wanting to hire me on seeing that video. And I was like, no, we don't want that. And I know for a fact that one contract I was supposed to get where I was making damn good money. I was making $3,000 to $4,000 a week, depending on the hours. $3,000 to $4,000 a week. Yeah. And again, I'm not top notch. I'm mid-level. Now, with that sort of pay, that sort of work, I could have owned my own house by now, either most of the way paid off or all the way paid off, and probably had my vehicles paid off. I was smart with my money, you know. Like all this right here, in a few short years, maybe 4 or 5 years, it could have been mine because I could learn from my father and his mistakes with finances, and also too my career. Because my dad, he fits this image of an inspector damn near perfectly. That's why he's high up. That's why he does really well in his career. Because one, he's good at his job. He doesn't know everything, but nobody does. 2, he works hard at his job. And 3, all that I mentioned before, he when he walks into a room at his job, he owns the room essentially, because that's how you have to be as an inspector. When you walk into a room with all these men that you have to tell them if they're doing their job right, you got to own it. You're like, no, this is how it is, A, B, C. Here's the plans, here's the codes, here's the schematics, presented to me by engineering. And he fits all this criteria, and also the criteria of being a hyper-masculine individual. He only dates cisgender women, doesn't mess with any of the LGBT community, was pro-Trump, all that good stuff. I was neither pro-Trump nor Biden. I didn't like either one of them. So there's a little fun fact for you there. I didn't like either one of those candidates. But we're not talking about politics here. Now, why did I tell you all this? Well, had I been, in my eyes, the weaker man, kept my mouth shut, been down low, or just simply denied myself dating trans women or being with trans women, if I just denied that about myself, then financially I'd be a lot further along. But the consequences of that decision, financially, I'm better off. I know that for a fact. Secondly, the other consequence would be I would be denying a group of people that I am really attracted to, that are awesome, that yes, nobody's perfect, but I'd be denying part of myself, essentially. And I wouldn't be living my truth. I'd be living a lie. Even though I could scrape by with that lie, I'd be living a lie. Those are the 2 consequences of that decision that I can think of right off the top hand. And I'll snap my finger for effect to think about it. Not like certain people in the community, snap fingers to be sassy, so to speak. I didn't really think about that when I did that. I do go to gay bars a lot, so maybe it's rubbing off on me, but whatever. It's all good. But, yeah, but I made the decision to be real, to be legitimate. I made the decision a long time ago. And I ultimately made the decision to go, not only would I go public about it, I also, in a sense, went above and beyond being public, been a content creator. I didn't ever imagine the YouTube channel would be the size it is now. I mean, not that I'm a huge channel, but in what we're talking about, I'm a fairly big player in the YouTube world as far as Transamorous men. I think I've seen 1 or 2 others that their channel is a little bit bigger than mine, so, but that's not what it's about. It's about the message. It's about getting it out there. It's about normalizing acceptance. But I made the decision to be real rather than financial gain. And I knew this going into it. I knew this. I knew there would be a financial hit. My father said, doom and gloom, said, you've by posting that video on Facebook, it's one thing to tell me all about it. I didn't want to know about that shit. I wanted you to be quiet about it. There's a whole other thing to go and post it on Facebook. A whole other thing to be doing a YouTube channel. You've destroyed your career. You don't have a career anymore. I knew he was wrong. I knew I would have a career hit. I knew it would be. And basically my career has played out exactly like I predicted now. So I've taken hits, and I missed out on some contracts where I was, instead of working as My career field, I was working for, pest control companies, waiting on a job to open up for me in my career field. So I had to wait longer for jobs because I had to get with a company that didn't care, what I did in my spare time, who I dated or whatever. It's all about who you know. No, not necessarily about who you know, but it's about who knows your business, if they're in power or not, And unfortunately, with some of these companies, they were higher echelons. Didn't agree with my lifestyle. I can't prove it, but I know I have good sources within that particular company that told me otherwise. Excuse me. So, I just want to get this out there, talk about that today. And, again, I am not trying to discourage you guys out there. I still encourage, I still endorse a man being open and true to himself because I do not regret it. This is not a talk about regret. This is a talk about be prepared. Know what you're getting yourself into before you do it. Because the last thing I want a guy to do is be open and honest, think it's going to be all sunshine, rainbows, and gumdrops, and then completely taken off guard and get angry and resentful at the very community or resentful at himself because of what's happened to him for being open and honest. Because there are consequences of being open and honest, unfortunately. But do not blame the community. It's not the community. It's the oppressive assholes against the community. The discrimination and the oppression, not the community itself. All right? And I want the guys to be prepared so that way when the fallout, no matter how big or how small, happens, you are mentally prepared. So you're not caught off guard and you don't end up making rash decisions or get upset or withdrawn or throw your hands up and quit. That's not what I want. Okay? For the most part, I've handled this pretty well. I could have done better. And I'm going to open up to y'all here. About this time last year in late October, in this very state, in this very area, I almost committed suicide. And the reason being was because of the discrimination and the hate and the oppression of said community. I had family turning on me, saying some fucked up things. Me and my father weren't really talking on these issues. And I was working some low-level bullshit job as an NDE inspector. It only lasted for like a month, And I suspect, I don't know, but I suspect that they knew of me. Because other inspectors who didn't agree with me knew about me. And I'm sure they were spreading all kinds of shit, talking shit about me or whatever. But it was a short contract. It was only 4 weeks. And I had a bunch of stuff on my shoulders. And it got too much. And I snapped. Because even though I was expecting fallout on my career, it's like I knew it was going to happen. I was expecting it, but I wasn't fully in sync with the reality. You know what I mean? I still do not regret YouTube. I don't regret. I mean, I've been open and honest to my family's known about me since I was 23. Okay? So I'm 28 now, so this is nothing new. But it's the fallout from YouTube. So, because a lot of awesome things have happened because of this YouTube channel. I have the viewers to thank for that, pointing to me to other people, saying, check this person out, check out this video. There's this group, Men Like Us Tribe, so on and so forth, that I've actually gotten a sense of community. I thought I was all by myself in this. It wasn't until YouTube where I actually learned I have community. Small, but small community is so much better than no community. If you're a community of two, that is so much better than community of lonesome one. Like that song, the loneliest number is one. So I want to make this video for not to discourage guys. I still encourage, I still endorse being your honest, legitimate selves. But I'm encouraging be mentally prepared. And I am encouraging to reach out to those who are just like you. So if you're seeing this now, there are guys out there. I didn't really know. I didn't really search too awfully hard, to be honest. I mean, I didn't find nothing. I thought, it's not really a thing. Thought I could handle it all on my own. Which, honestly, for the most part, I did. But it almost didn't go very well for me because I snapped. I'm not going to get too much details, but like I said, I tried to commit suicide. Late October, about the same time last year. I know I've mentioned it before on this channel, but not to this much in depth about it. I believe in those many factors, and this wasn't the only factor. The YouTube and the discrimination from hateful people because of YouTube, but it did play a factor into it. And again, all I'm preaching here is I'm encouraging guys to be open and honest, but I'm encouraging for you to not go at it blindly. Don't be blind. Hate is still real. Discrimination is still real. People are not going to like you just simply because of who you're dating, who you're holding hands with, walking down the street. All right? So be prepared for that. You can always reach out to me. I had a conversation, I think I mentioned earlier, with a young guy. He reached out to me. I told him, same thing I'm telling you now. Again, you can reach me at libriumcaritate13@outlook.com. LIBRIUMCARITATE13@outlook.com. I'll try to remember to drop a link below. Also, you can look on the About section of my YouTube page. All right? All right. So, hope you'll have a wonderful night. And stay tuned. I'm still doing the road trip. Kind of changed a little day by day when people have to reschedule. But it's cool. Reach out to me. Peace.